Welcome back to Case Closed Anime Review, episode number 99. Yes, next episode is going to be the 100th episode for this anime review series, which just make it the fourth. Yeah, the fourth overall to hit episode 100. The first one being Boruto, second one being One Piece, third being One Piece, and yeah, this is going to be the fourth series to hit this magic number, 100. And it'll do with the very next episode. Yes, there's going to be an episode aired next week. Yep. Now, this episode is the 989th episode of the anime, called Ami's Picture Diary Case. Yep, that's pretty much what this episode is called. And a lot of it is basically done when you see the visuals in this one. I'd say about 20% of this episode is very much all children's sketches. Though one character does appear in the episode, she makes a brief cameo appearance via one of these sketches, and that's Sato. Yes, Detective Sato does briefly appear in one of these illustrated images. But actual physical appearance in the episode is just the detective boys. All five of the Habara is back in this one, surprisingly. And, of course, Takagi is here. Because, of course, Takagi is here. Surprisingly, yeah, this is one of those rare times where Takagi shows up and Maguire is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, because a lot of time when Maguire shows up, a lot of time Takagi is with him. And this time, no, not really. And mostly put, a lot of it is told via Ami's picture book. Now, it appears as though this episode, appearance-wise, takes place a period of about a month. Yes, it seems like, it's after they finish a certain scene. Oh yeah, nothing happens for several days, and they do it again. And they do 3 or 4 times the episode. By the time the episode ends, you can kind of say that a month passes by the time you finish watching this episode. It's the pacing of it. The episode opens up basically with, Ami telling the whole thing is basically kind of like a flashback kind of thing, told via these illustrated images. About how she helped, basically, in a way, help Conan solve a case. Now, does this case involve murder? Nope. Nobody dies in this one, surprisingly. This one's about burglary. Yep, a completely different aspect, which is kind of interesting, though, because the Takagi usually works murder cases. Not a lot of time, he doesn't work burglaries very much. But it's surprising though he does burglary, even though that he's mostly solving murders. Okay, now this episode properly after the illustrations are basically so you have the detective boys basically on the way to school, and they come across 3 people. Someone works for the Cheetah Delivery Service, which, by the way, they are a recurring delivery service who appeared frequently in the series. I'd say since the first season of the show that people... Now, the employee who appears in this episode is a standalone character, but the service he works for, that's a recurring thing that's been seen throughout the whole series. First time in a while they've actually popped up in this series. Yep. So... he's there along with a grocer who works next door, works to the left of the store. To the right, we have a cafe manager. And what are these 3 doing? They are basically looking at a very expensive watch that somehow the jeweler got his hands on. And it's mentioned by Hybrid later on in the episode that this is one of 5 of these type watches in the whole world. And they estimate the black market price to be $70 million. Which basically is stuff that this guy says basically leads to who actually tries to steal it later on in the episode. Because the whole episode is simply put them basically watch over this watch and suspecting these various people basically involved with it. Now, this grocer apparently is a woman. Even though, by the way she's drawn, it looks like a freaking guy. Yeah, I'm not really sure of why the episode did this for, but it did. Also, they show scenes they show the kids when they go to school. And there's no appearance by their smoking hot teacher. Nope, no appearance by her at all. I'm like, really? You show the school, but you don't show the teacher, this beautiful teacher that they have, the one who wears a tracksuit a lot of the time, is dating a policeman who happens to be rich. Yeah, that's quite something, though. So, They basically go back, they question a lot of people, and of course the cab manager, apparently his cafe is not open yet because, well, it was open, but it's currently closed due to remodeling. Yes. And the guy who's running the engineering firm who's remodeling the place is an old friend of his from middle school, which, okay, so he gives him a special discount. Kudos for personal stuff. That's actually pretty smart of him to do. I mean, yeah, do it for less price for people you know. Oh yeah, and the guys who work with him, they're his sons, and of course they suspect him possibly being a thief who could potentially steal the watch. Now the jeweler, when they meet him in the episode, he appears in like one scene, and that's it with Takagi. When they first see him, it's like, oh, he's handing out flyers, and then of course they go to the jewelry shop, which obviously this would be a prime target for burglaries, especially it's in the display in the store window. We have a watch that's worth a lot of money that could be potentially stolen. So, yeah, so he talks to him a bit, shows us the fact he's got security, he's got security cameras, he's got like lasers. He basically has got the whole kit and caboodle when it comes to basically security. And the display case is basically locked behind even though it's a glass door, it's under a special lock. The outside, the glass window is tempered glass, so it's not easily breakable. Which kudos. And the lock basically is a key code. Though how the burglar tries to steal later on in the episode uses a freaking drill. Which, okay. So, and of course, thanks to Takagi himself, aside from appearing briefly, he does appear like after they talk to the jeweler, he disappears almost the entire episode, with the exception of a couple times appearing illustrations. He doesn't return again until like the post-credit scene in the episode. Yeah, he's like remarkably absent. So thanks to also Amy showing off her illustration book, which Conan is like very happy that she's showing off, and she also, and of course, she also blushing at Conan while he's looking at it, implying you could be potentially seeing a moment between the two of them. But it kind of in a way is basically does help him. So he kind of figures out, though, thanks to the 3 buildings way set up, that apparently that the potential thief is using the grocery store as cover to go through that way to get to the jeweler. And the heavy construction going on at the cafe is a cover. You can use it as a cover. And this person is digging underground with this small shovel, like going, trying to basically dig very quietly. And apparently it's able to dig up right up to the floor somehow. Apparently this particular person got time to not only get not only the tools to dig, apparently got the boards to hold up the ground like it's an actual mine shaft. And somehow, some way, he's able to go up beneath the floor. He's able to remove the tiles, not much problem at all. Though before he goes up there, he takes the time to disable the cameras and the security. Kudos for him doing that because, well, he's prepared. Though he's not basically a professional, I can tell this guy is not that much professional because if this was the kind of kid, he'd be a lot more smart than this. So he just walks up to the thing, takes a frickin' drill, destroys the lock, gets the thing out, no problem at all. And by the time the person gets outside, it turns out it's the guy from the cheetah delivery service. Yep. Oh, and by the way, why in the world he was able to go through the grocer despite actually being there? Well, it was later revealed that she apparently wanted a trip to Hawaii, which turned out to be fake. I'm sure it probably did. Yep. So, yep, they've about gone for a certain period of time, and yeah, then Takagi shows up apparently via illustration to arrest the guy for theft. It's not like he was angry, but yeah, they were to stop, not much of a problem at all. And like, oh yeah, we're detective boys, and of course we have Ami, Mitch, and George just showing up being like Super Sentai, and Conan's like, oh boy, what have I got myself into when it comes to this stance? Hybra basically has got nothing on it. She says nothing. Interesting episode, to say the least. Next week is the return of Richard Moore, and he is going to be teaming with Conan to solve a case that's been told in a 2-parter. Yes, a 2-parter. Which, interesting to say the least. It's called Tragedy of the Automatic. And it's a 2-parter, taking up episodes 990 and 991. Now, Now, the interesting thing comes to this episode here, 989, is that with this episode, we are 11 episodes away from hitting this series episode 1000. Wow. First anime I come across during my reviews. Now, I have noticed Pokemon's over here 1000 already. Probably several years ago. But this series, wow, it took some time to hit 1000. And I would not be surprised, though, if that one is going to be an adaptation of a canon case. Well, which one could they do? I mean, the next one is I think it's a TV drama. It's most that one. Look up on here, see what could be the potential could possibly have from for you know, because well, they could potentially could see that. Mm-hmm. Yes, potential, but who knows? I'm so serious. Something from load up here. Let me look at phone. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's see here. Find it here. Where are you? It could be this potential case that could adapt from. Well, next one is a TV drama, TV filming site murder case. That's the next one they're going to adapt. That's going to be the next one. That's going to be adapted. It's only the 295th case. It's only like the last case date that came out in for the year of 2018. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised though if they did that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, by the time if they finally get a chance to probably adapt it, it probably would have been 2 years since they actually, probably a little bit 3 years since these last, adapted it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, I didn't get a chance to see they actually release any new chapters per se. I have not seen it yet. I'll look at it a little bit later to see if they have released new chapters. I forgot to take a look before I did this episode. Yep. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this particular review. Next one's going to be Blue Extras. I'll see you there next. And it'll be One Piece and Boruto. And then hopefully after that, there'll be Trinity. If not, well, after Boruto, probably here for the reviews, okay? This video. Bye.